皆さんこんにちは。1000万 MLB 翻訳侍戦士チャンネルへようこそ。ニューヨークに歓喜が渦巻いています。メッツが豪快な一発攻勢でブレーブスを撃破。破竹の5連勝でワイルドカード争いの主導権を握りました。しかし歓喜に沸くベンチに突如として緊張が走ります。復帰登板を果たした千賀投手にアクシデント発生。その診断は、チームに与える影響は。運命のトレード期限を前に揺れるメッツ。それでは本日の試合を詳しく解説している番組の翻訳をお届けいたします。ご覧ください。
Now 5-3 against Atlanta this season, and they have jumped over the Braves in the standings. The Mets own the first wild card spot in the National League, and don't forget, 3 different occasions this year, they were 10 games behind Atlanta. So let's get back out to the ballpark right now, get a look at our notes from this game. And the Mets trailed Atlanta 2-0 in the third inning. That's when J.D. Martinez changed the game in a hurry. That one is not coming back. His 9th career grand slam, it came off Charlie Morton, and the Mets had the lead for good. It was 4-2. 3 batters later, Mark Vientos turns on one, puts a charge into it, a 2-run bomb. Number 14 on the year for Vientos, and the lead was extended to 6-2. And then, how about this? 2 batters later, Francisco Alvarez, a major blast, 409 feet of solo shot. Mets in complete command at that point. It was 7-2. Kodai Senga, his first start off the injured list. He looked really good through 5 innings, giving up just that 2-run homer. He struck out 9 and was really sharp. But in the 6th inning, on a routine infield pop-up, Senga, coming off the mound, reaches right there for his left calf. He was in significant pain, ended up walking off under his own power. The Mets said it was a left calf strain. Going to have the latest. We'll hear from the manager coming up on that in just a little bit. Mets go on to get the win. Their 5th consecutive victory, 8-4, is the final tonight out at Citi Field. So a lot of happiness over the fact that they won this game tonight, but certainly a little bit disappointment and concern, as I said, when it comes to Kodai Senga.
Concern is right.
Yes.
I think it was so great to watch him get back out there. He looked like he hadn't missed a beat. His form was good. His pitches were good. He was executing the 9 strikeouts. And at the end of the day, we don't know what happened there. We know that he strained it, and it's it's going to be a test for all of us to see how that impacts him moving forward. But at the end of the day, it was great to see him back, and it is just cast a little bit of a cloud of disappointment over this great Mets victory tonight.
And again, we will hear from the Mets manager, Carlos Mendoza. He'll have the latest on that coming up just a little bit. We'll have Carlos once he speaks to the media. So what about Senga when he was out there and pitching, and what did he do so well?
Yeah, well, he established that ghost fork right away, and he was very good. He used all of his pitches, but as we talked about coming into this outing, we wanted to see how his mechanics looked. That meant his command. That meant the velocity in his fastball. And right away, early on, he established that ghost fork right out of the gate with that strikeout. And you can just look at the bottom drop out of it. Kellenic gave him a good battle right there, but was no match for the ghost fork, and he continued it going the rest of that inning. Great play by Pete, and nice coverage by Kodai right there. And then with Matt Olson, gets the slider. He had fought off a couple of tough pitches, gets the slider in there, and then the third continues to go. And now he establishes the fastball, gets Ozuna on the inside with the fastball. And then this one, Matt Olson looked like he had maybe had a home run, a little bit foul. What does Kodai do? Pulls the string even more with a 71-mile-an-hour curveball, and it just tells you that he had confidence in all of his pitches, using them all effectively, and then he went to that fastball. And as we talked about before, once you establish that ghost fork, and he established that he could throw it for strikes or strike to ball, then that fastball becomes more in play. And this is what I'm talking about, throwing it for a strike once, twice. That's got to be so frustrating for a hitter because you're used to chasing it, and then he beats you with the fastball away. So all in all, Kodai had all the weapons. He looked like he was in true form, like he was at the end of last season, utilizing the fastball, being efficient with his pitches. He had more in the tank, I think, if not for the injury. And just a great first outing for him, and great to see until that injury that took him down.
And now the question is, when are we going to see him back out on the mound? So let's check wild card standings now up to the moment in the National League. And here we are, the Mets owning the top wild card spot in the National League. Again, the Mets have now won 5 consecutive games. The Braves going in the other direction. They have lost 6 straight. Let's hear from the manager of the Mets. Here's Carlos Mendoza.
Steve?
Carlos, we saw it was a left calf strain. Do you guys have any inkling at this point at how severe the strain is?
No, because we got to get an MRI, and that's not happening until tomorrow. So just got to wait and see what we're dealing with here.
Is there confidence that it is just a strain, or is there any concern about, the Achilles or anything like that?
I'm not going to sit here and speculate. I don't think there's anything related to the Achilles. But, we got to wait and see. So.
Zach, have you spoken to Kodai since he went in there? How's he?
I have not. I haven't talked to him yet. After I get done here, I'll stop by the training room and check with him.
With how well he pitched and how well you guys played today, just what was that like seeing that happen?
Yeah, you hate to see it, but look, he was pretty impressive. Watching him pitch, the fastball, the command of his pitches, the splitter. He dominated today. And yeah, you hate to see him go down like that, especially after what he's been through the whole year. But people will step up if he's down. But we just got to wait and see what we're dealing with. But yeah, pretty good game overall. A special night.
Tony?
Just to follow up on Steve's question, he asked specifically about a potential Achilles. Are you guys certain that it's a calf strain and there's nothing else going on?
Yeah, that's
there?
what I was told. So that we're dealing with a calf.
And what was just your reaction when you saw it happen? What did he say to you out on the field?
He didn't say much. He's like, give me a second here. I was like, no, I'm not taking any chances. You're done. So that was basically it. And then he came in, and I haven't seen him. So, yeah.
Tim?
You said this was the first time you're going to see him live. What did it look like live to you?
Pretty impressive. Nasty. The live on the fastball, is an easy 96, and then there's 98 on the tank when he needs to. The splitter, the cutter, there's so much movement on his pitches, and his ability, the power on the fastball is pretty impressive. So, yeah.
John?
Carlos, best case scenario, calf strain is probably out significant period, right, of time?
Yeah, we got to wait and see what we're dealing with here. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but yeah, they could be tricky. So we gotta wait and see.
If he's out, would you expect to go back to a 5-man rotation?
Yeah. Well, so right now, if he's down, then we'll stay with the 5-man.
Zach? At the start of the game, you guys made a deal. I figure you've seen him from your time with the Yankees. What do you think of Stanek and what he brings to you guys?
Yeah, I've seen him a lot. Power arm. He's pitching some big games. I saw it early in his career with the Rays. And then last year, as recent as last year with Houston. And again, he's got that ability to come in, lane games, like playoff experience, big games, and he's a power arm. He's 97, 98. There's a splitter. So yeah, I've seen it a lot. I'm glad he's on my side now.
Abby?
Kind of a wild swing of emotions in this game. How do you get the team to sort of stay level-headed after news like this and a big win?
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Pretty good win, electric crowd, huge inning there with so many really good at-bats. And not only the at-bats, but the way the guys are playing. I think the one play for me in that inning is just Taylor hustling down the line after the third baseman kind of bobbled that ball, and then Lindor walks, Nemo walks, and then JD, and huge inning, and we continue to play hard. We continue to add on, put pressure, and, we've been through a lot. So guys will step up. Guys will show up tomorrow ready to go, so.
Or is he coming in after Senga? Was he able to sort of settle after that initial home run?
Definitely, First outing, not the way he wanted to. First batter takes him deep. Then a walk, I think, and then but he was able to, going out there and kind of slowing him down a little bit. It was good for him to not only finish that inning, but going back out for the 7th and give us an extra 3 outs there. Good outing for him.
Roger?
Carlos, you were getting a very big lift here with Senga coming back. He's going to make the rotation much stronger. Do you feel like with him now looking at an extended absence, this team needs to make a trade to strengthen the rotation?
I feel good with what we have. We got to this point with the guys that we got in that room. And we just got to wait and see what we're dealing here with Senga. But I feel good. We feel good about what we have in there. So,
you were saying the other day that you are in constant contact in the loop with the guys in the front office. Is this an occasion where you might express, "Hey, we could use something"?
We can react to, especially when we don't know what we're dealing with, And I know David and his group will do what's best for this organization, not only for this year, for future years as well. So, my job is to manage the 26. I'll have those conversations with David, and we'll see what plays out here.
Jerry?
Carlos, you guys have gone from 11 under to the first wild card spot in under 2 months. I understand that it's still a long season. Do you take a minute to recognize the progress this team's made in, like I said, under 2 months?
Proud of the guys, proud of the players, proud of the group, proud of the coaches, all the people that somehow has got a hand on, the day-to-day operations here for us, that we are always continue to look for ways to get better, and we're not looking at standings. We know where we at, obviously. We put ourselves in a better position compared to where we were, but understanding we got ways to go, and it's good that we are where we at, but there's a lot of good teams out there. So we just got to continue to control the things we need to control, continue to have fun, because at the end of the day, that's something that not only we're preparing, we're, pushing each other and looking for ways to get better, but we go out there and we compete and we have fun.
So Carlos Mendoza saying when it comes to Kodai Senga, MRI coming tomorrow. It is a calf. They don't believe it's an Achilles, but nothing is off the table at this point. But as he said, they've been through a lot this year, and they have managed to get themselves back in this race at the top of the wild card standing. So what do you make of what he had to say and the latest on Kodai Senga?
Well, there's no surprise to me in what he had to say. This team has been resilient. There's been things that have not gone their way that they've battled from. And you've seen the progression that they've made. And the reality is that Kodai Senga was going to be a big boost, almost like a trade deadline acquisition that really helps the rest of the season. But he's not a guy that they've been able to rely on all season. He hasn't been here except for 5 innings today. So the loss of him is not as impactful as if he was a guy that was the steady force all season and then you lose him before the deadline. This is a guy that you didn't have that you were just hoping was going to be back. Still a big loss, but this team is resilient. They've been doing it with the guys that are still in that clubhouse all season long, and I think they'll continue to do so.
It's going to be interesting to see how this does impact the trade deadline, which is coming up on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So we heard the manager also asked right there about a trade the Mets made earlier tonight. So on the day that the Mets put Daniel Nunez on the injured list and they DFA'd Adrian Hauser, the Mets indeed did make a deal. They've acquired 33-year-old right-handed reliever Ryan Stanek from the Seattle Mariners in exchange for their 30th ranked prospect Ryland Thomas, the outfielder. SNY's Andy Martino had the news first on Stanek. He's an 8-year major leaguer, appeared in 46 games with the Mariners this season, a 4.38 ERA, 44 strikeouts, 17 walks in 39 innings. So Todd and I just getting going here on Mets Postgame Live. The Mets, well, they pounded out 3 home runs all in that early portion of the game in the 3rd inning. They get the win 8-4. We'll hear from Mark Vientos on his homer and what he saw there when we come back just a moment.
今回の動画はいかがでしたか？ぜひご意見ご感想をコメント欄までお願いいたします。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーの最新情報など海外の番組の翻訳をお届けしています。面白いと思っていただけましたら、よかったら高評価とチャンネル登録をお願いします。どんな情報をお届けしたら喜んでいただけるか、ぜひお聞かせください。それではまた次回の動画でお会いいたしましょう。